Leviticus chapter 19. The Lord spoke to Moses and said, "Speak to the entire community of the people of Israel and say to them, Be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must honor his mother and father, and you shall keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. You shall not turn to idols or make for yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. When you offer a covenant sacrifice to the Lord, sacrifice it in such a way that it is acceptable on your behalf. It shall be eaten on the day you offer it, or on the next day, and whatever remains until the third day shall be burned. If it is eaten on the third day, it is an abomination and will not be accepted. Whoever eats it will bear guilt, for he has profaned what is holy to the Lord, and this person shall be cut off from his people. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap to the extreme limits of your field, or gather the gleanings after your harvest. You shall not strip your vineyard bare, and do not gather the grapes that have fallen. Leave them for the needy and the alien. I am the Lord your God. You shall not steal or cheat or deceive one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name, and thus profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You shall not oppress your neighbor or rob him. The wages of a hired man are not to remain with you all night until morning. You shall not curse a deaf man, nor put a stumbling block in the way of the blind, but you shall show respect for your God. I am the Lord. You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality to the poor, nor bow to the great. You are to judge your neighbor fairly. You shall not go about as a slanderer of your people, and you shall not seek the death of your neighbor. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. Correct your neighbor firmly so as not to share in his guilt. You shall not seek revenge, nor nurture a grudge against one of your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Keep my statutes. You shall not let your cattle breed with another kind. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seeds, and you shall not wear clothing made of two different materials. If a man has intercourse with a woman who is a slave promised to another man, but who has not been ransomed or given her freedom, there shall be due punishment on investigation. They shall not be put to death because she was not free. But he shall bring a ram as a sacrifice of reparation to the Lord for himself to the door of the tent of meeting. The priest is to make atonement for him before the Lord with the ram of the sacrifice of reparation for the sin committed, and the sin he has committed will be forgiven. When you enter the land and plant all kinds of trees for food, you shall count the fruit as unclean. For 3 years it shall be unclean for you, and it must not be eaten. In the 4th year, all the fruit shall be dedicated as an offering of praise to the Lord. But in the 5th year you may eat of the fruit, that its yield may increase for you. I am the Lord your God. You shall not eat anything with blood on it, nor practice divination or soothsaying. You shall not round off the side growth of your heads, or clip off the edges of your beard. You shall not make lacerations on your bodies as a sign of mourning for the dead, or make tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. You shall not profane your daughter by making her a prostitute, lest the land turn to prostitution and be filled with immorality. Keep my Sabbaths and revere my sanctuary. I am the Lord. You shall not turn to mediums or spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Rise in the presence of the aged and honor the elderly. In doing this, you honor your God. I am the Lord. When an alien stays with you in your land, do not ill-treat him. He shall be to you as the native among you. Therefore, love him as yourself, for you have been aliens in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. You shall not pervert justice in measuring length, weight, or quantity. Use honest scales and honest weights and exact measures like the ephah and the hin. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Therefore, you shall keep all my statutes and all my customs and follow them. I am the Lord.